Let's do
All right, Greenwood Stock Trading coming at you with another celebrity interview of these rock star traders. We want to introduce you to the Antonio Johnson Show. This man is not a trader; he is a whole show, a movement. So, we connected. We got a lot in common. We like big runners, but the thing I like about Antonio is that he comes with the fundamentals. He is not about what stock is running 1,000%. It's not about what's moving, the play of the day, or anything like that. We're talking about the why, the where, the wins, the how. So just wanted to get a unique perspective from this accomplished trader, and just grab some value so you, the listener, can know how to trade better. And if you got any questions, you can definitely give us a shout. So, Antonio, welcome.
Hey, man, it's pleasure to meet you, man. Pleasure to meet you in person. I'm excited to be here, man. I'm excited to be here. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about, man. If I don't know the answer, I'm gonna tell you I don't know.
Exactly. So yeah, we just want to give the listeners something to take home, valuable. Number one, I've never heard you tell the story or anything like that. So I like it because it's live, it's fresh, it's not anything we talked about. How did you get started? What was your experience? Did you blow your account? Were you profitable? Did you make $1 million your first week? In between, how has your trading journey been?
I think my trading journey starts like most people, right? You meet somebody who's doing it, and they seem to be doing a great job, and you get curious, you ask a couple questions, and then you go, okay, I want to do that, and then you try to do it on your own because you think you can, and then you make a lot of mistakes. The first thing you do is you try to buy stocks of companies that you know about, not understanding that it's a lot more to it than that. And so after you lose a bit of money, you start, finding mentors, reading books, and calling people, and trying to get in classes, and then you get better. And that's where I come with it. So that's what happened for me. And I trading, man, I really had to work on me. That's what made me a better trader.
Okay.
It was really about the man in the mirror. What are my issues? Like, what are my issues that keep me inconsistent? Right? Because I'll tell this to anybody. The stock market is the most inconsistent thing you'll ever look at. Definitely. It's inconsistent today, right?
Right.
So the only way you can become a good trader is you have to be consistent.
Right.
So you find a system that makes you have great habits every single day the same way, so that you can see the things that you need to see, because you can only see it if you're consistent. If you're not consistent, you're going to lose money. You're going to be all over the place. You might win sometimes, you might lose sometimes. But if you're consistent, and what I mean when I say consistent, if you get up every morning at 7 o'clock and you look at the stock market from 7 till 10, then you got to do that every day.
Right.
And you can't say, well, you know what, tomorrow I'm gonna get up at 8. Tomorrow, next day I'm gonna get up at 9. Well, I ain't gonna look at the market this week. You can't be inconsistent to be a great trader.
Right.
It's monotonous. It's boring at times, but that boring gives you clear vision. And so when you notice things, it's easier for you to take advantage of those inconsistencies, is the best way to say it.
Sounds good. That's a great answer. When everything is changing, what's going to be constant? The constant has to be you. If anything can be constant and stable, it has to be you, because we only have control of what we are and what we do. So, everything else can be chaotic, but what you're saying is, as long as you stay consistent, at some point you're going to start seeing consistent results.
Absolutely. But what's challenging? It's hard to be consistent. Right? Most people aren't. Number one, most people, they're just not consistent in their lives, right? Especially when you're watching an inconsistent market, it sends you through a bunch of emotions, and that's the first thing that you got to understand. The stock market is gonna mess with your emotions. You ain't never felt an emotion until you bought a stock. You know what I mean? And then go back up. That's the emotion that that the things you'll go through. You'll go through anxiety. You'll go through anger, and you'll go through depression all in the same time, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want that to happen, right? You just don't want that to happen. So, the best way to keep your emotions out of trading is to be consistent, right? If you're consistent, then let me say it like this: if you're gonna get up every morning at 4 o'clock, right, you're gonna get up no matter how you feel, right? If you keep getting up morning after morning at the same time, you're gonna get up whether you feel good or not. You're gonna get up whether you're angry or not. You're gonna get up whether you're tired. You're gonna get up whether you're sick, because you form the habit that forces you to get up, and that's how you overcome emotions. That's what I would say.
Right. So, and I'm going to add something to that. The fact that you can stay consistent, it's an internal thing. So it's not anything that anybody else is going to motivate you to do. I'm going to add to that and say the way that you can avoid all of those swings, those ups and downs, the anger, the depression, the anxiety, and I talk about it in my course, is to start small, be small. Don't risk or wager, using Jeopardy terms, what you can't afford. So that's what makes it fun. You win. If you got $50, put $50. If you got 100, if you got 1,000, if 50,000 is nothing to you, then by all means, put it in there and see what it looks like in real time. But, a lot of people start too big. A lot of people, do more than what they should be, and as a result, they see the adverse effects of that. So yeah,
absolutely. And you know what, you hitting it on the head. Let me, there are only three types of emotion, and I named them. And when you think about anxiety, if you break anxiety down, it is worrying about tomorrow, right? And worrying doesn't always mean you're worried about tomorrow because something bad's going to happen. Sometimes you're worried about tomorrow because something good's going to happen, right? Like, oh my God, I'm getting paid on Wednesday. I'm gonna have $6,000. Oh, that's anxiety, right? You can't get into that, because that's what makes you spend more money than you should, right? If you can't afford to put $10,000 on a stock, but you end up doing it, it's because you was worried about tomorrow. I mean, you let that emotion catch you, and I always say H.A.L.T, halt, right? Halt. We halt had the letters mean something. That never trade when you're hungry. Well, hungry. What do I mean when I say that? When you're hungry, I'm talking about like you're desperate, like you need money today. You know what I mean? You don't need to trade when you feel that way. The next thing, A, for anger. You don't need to trade when you're angry. You don't even need to trade when you have anxiety. L, you don't need to trade your last. If it's your last, don't trade.
Right.
Don't trade your last. And then T, don't trade when you're tired. If you've been up all night, I've been partying, you stayed with your girl all day, and you came in the house at 6 in the morning, and you turn the computer on and you say, okay, I'm gonna trade today. You out your mind. You out your mind. You need to halt. You need to halt. Remember, the stock market is inconsistent. That's why it can never be mastered. Right. It gives you a look every single day. So if you're not on point, you can't mess with that. You can't.
Exactly, man. And that's great info. And we've touched on all of that, but it's good to hear you kind of bring it home. And I'm not. We're gonna make this short and sweet and give everybody the value they need. Tell me about you talked about a system, okay? When you're developing a system, what are you thinking? How are you testing that? How are you putting the emphasis on the results versus the process versus what you've seen, the patterns? Tell me just a little bit about that, how you approach things.
So your system should cause you to be able to fish out certain stocks, right? You create a system that will bring certain stocks to your attention.
Like a filter.
Yeah. Create a filter, create a system, whatever it is, create a filter that brings certain stocks to your attention, right? Whatever that system is, because there are 38 ways to skin a cat. Just use whatever you're going to use to create your system that presents certain types of stocks to you. Look at those stocks and track those stocks over a long period of time and notice patterns of the stocks based on your system. Now, here's the key. If you don't do that system or you skip that system one day, you got to start all over again.
Right.
Because the key to everything is this is what people don't understand. Patience is number one. And you can only be patient by looking at something, getting to know something. The hardest part of trading is this. if you wait, you can watch. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. If you wait, you can watch, and if you can watch, you can learn.
Okay.
If you can learn, you can grow. Okay, if you can learn, you can grow. But here's the problem. Like most people, they're looking at the girl across the street, thinking the grass is green on the other side. So they're not watching the stocks that have already shown them patterns based on their system that they can actually make a buck off of, right? You know these stocks because you watch these stocks, but you forget to watch them because you're looking at a new runner that just hit the table, and you scared you want to miss something new. That's what we all do, right? So successful people, they usually like keep the same woman, keep the same man, keep the stay in the house about the same time. They're not always jumping around doing something new every week, right? And think about this. When you see a new stock running and you don't know nothing about it, you go, "Oh my God, that's up $10. Oh my God, I got to get in there." What you know about that stock? What you know about it? What do you know about it? Like, for real, what do you know about it? It just ran. You don't know anything.
Right. And that's what's the first time we talked, that's what struck me the most is that, wow, this guy is talking about fundamentally. You're a trader for sure, but you're still talking about fundamentals and why the validity and the legitimacy of a company and the move. I remember we were talking about it, and ACY was going crazy, and these other stocks, GLSI, and then the next thing you know, they'll halt, the bottom will fall out of them, and if you were in there, then you're going to be feeling some pain, and
oh my God,
and you were talking about integrity. So like if a move is up 1,000%, 2,000%, you're doing yourself a disservice by hanging around because there's no fundamental reason for that price to be where it is. And so that kind of struck me as, okay, now this guy is talking about some things that can save people a lot of money. But yeah, like I said, I remember trading some of those stocks, and I didn't get caught up in holding a big bag, but I know a lot of people did when it dumps, 15, 20, 30, 100, however much percent, if you're hanging around and you're getting that haircut. So yeah.
Oh, absolutely, bro. And you got to remember that, like, be honest with yourself. Like, again, I told you my biggest challenge when I first started trading was just making sure I was doing it the right way. Right. Looking in the mirror and dude, you ain't right. You ain't right. You ain't consistent. You ain't consistent. You chasing this. You ain't putting in no study work. You ain't making sure you see what you're doing. And with all that, you lose. And that's it. But now, man, bro, man, you know how consistent I am. I mean, I'm super consistent.
That's a great one.
And it allows you to benefit from those consistencies that you are allowed to see in an inconsistent market. And I'll say that 100 million times over. And here's the thing, and I'll say this to anybody: your confidence matters. You need to have confidence in the trade. Okay. And the only thing gonna give you confidence in the trade if you got a system in place that you develop that you trust, and that takes time. You've got to sit there and watch. They let you play with the market before you put your money in. Go do the paper money.
Right.
Do the paper money. Do the paper money and see if you're consistent. Right. That's the key. Do the paper money. Don't take some time and do the paper money.
Right.
And guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna find something that's gonna work for you, and you're gonna have some success. And then on those days where you're not comfortable, it's gonna be easy to recognize you're not comfortable. You're gonna be like, "No, I'm not comfortable today. I'm staying out the market." And you're gonna stay out the market. It doesn't mean you ain't gonna see some money getting made, but that money ain't yours, right? If I go to the air, I live in Sarasota, Florida, so we got a little airport here in my backyard. So if I go to the Sarasota airport, right, and I want to catch a flight to Atlanta,
right,
okay, then I'm not going to get on a plane that's telling me it's going to Houston.
What if it says it's going to the turkey leg hut?
I don't care. I love the turkey leg hut, but that ain't my money, right? I got to go to Atlanta because my system tells me get on the plane that's going to Atlanta. So when I see the plane that's going to Atlanta, that's the plane I got to get on. Now, if I see the one going to Houston they say, man, you get to eat all the turkey legs you want from the turkey hut, get on my plane. No, I trust me. Everything in me want to get on the plane because I want one of them $30 turkey legs. I want one, right? But I can't. I got to remember my system. And that's the biggest struggle for traders. That's the reason why why 95% of traders are not successful.
Right.
It's because of that inconsistency within themselves. Imagine this. You're inconsistent, the market's inconsistent.
Right.
How do you make money in that process? Where do you make it?
You can't. There's no money to be made. Something has to be consistent. So
something. Hey, listen. If I'm gonna give somebody some relationship advice, if you in a relationship with somebody and both y'all always inconsistent, y'all gonna break up, right? But if you can stay consistent, you can still love on her when she's in a bad mood or when she's weird for no reason. You can still cook her dinner. You can still take her out to dinner. You can still rub her feet. You can still tell her how much she means to you and how much she's changed your life. If you can stay consistent, you're gonna win. You're gonna win. That's it. Somebody got to be consistent.
Somebody's got to be consistent, man. That like I said, trading shows you who you are as a person. It teaches us about life. It's not just about dollars and cents. So I think you really saw probably some fundamental things about some people. Number one, your habits, your system, your consistency, and then managing your emotions. Not trading when you're hungry, not trading when it's your last, not trading when you're angry, not trading when you've been out all night. Having some discipline, basically, is what the word that's going to sum up what you said. Have some discipline in what you're doing. So, man, I think with just that information, we can take that for the rest of the year and have enough to work on.
Hey, let me suggest this. The first question is, well, how can I make myself consistent? Right. Mm-hmm. Find someone that you respect, and if you gotta pay them, pay them. But if they do it for free, let them do it for free. Say, hey man, teach me your system. Right? Teach me your system so I can be consistent within your system. And because you need that too. You gotta have that. Because if you don't know how to build a proper system, then why lose your money in the process trying to figure that out?
That's right. And I'm glad you mentioned that. I would be remiss to not ask you what the listeners probably want to know at this time, as much as you can give us, because we're short on time. What is your system, or what are the characteristics of your system? We talked about it a little bit. You call it the Seagull. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I'll tell you about the Seagull. I always talk about the Seagull. Seagull is that stock that comes and interrupts the market, right? And you don't know when he's coming. You have no way of knowing. It's like when you're out at the beach and you got a sandwich in your hand, and that Seagull snatches it right when you're getting ready to eat it. Because you made your plans. You know what you're going to buy, then you make that buy, and then the Seagull comes. Then the Seagull comes in, and then he disrupts the market. And a lot of times it creates fear, and it diverts the focus and dilutes the system. Right. So I built my system around that. So that had to be understood, because I didn't want to buy that stock that when that Seagull popped up, that stock didn't do what it was supposed to do. Right. So I learned how to build a system around this chaotic stock that comes out the blue. You know, it had a volume of 8,000 yesterday. Now it's trading at 100 million a day. Like one of those, like a stock today. A stock did that today. You know what I mean? It came out of nowhere, but it's an IPO, so it really didn't have any history. But they traded that thing over 200,000. It had 1 million outstanding shares. I mean, they were trading the crap out of that stock, but that's out of nowhere, right? To me, that's a stock that hurts the fundamentals of everybody else's system.
That's right. Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, we want to we want to give people that information, guys. And I call it, I do something similar. It's called volume differential divergence. Like you said, a stock's trading at 14,000, and next thing you know, it's trading at 100 million. Something is going on in the market, so you got to pay attention. And stocks steal volume from each other. So, like you said, when the Seagull comes, it's going to be taking volume that other stocks would be getting otherwise. And so that's why.
Let me paint a better picture. Okay. You're throwing a concert, right? No, you're putting on a celebrity basketball game, right? And you got some decent celebrity B-list, and everybody you sold a bunch, you're selling a bunch of tickets, and everybody can buy tickets on that day. You've done everything right. You know the people are going to show up, right? And so you go through your basketball tournament. Right across the street, there's a stadium, and all of a sudden, out the blue, Jay-Z throws a free concert. What happens to your event?
Yeah, it's not gonna be what you wanted it to be.
Right. That's a Seagull. Because you didn't know that Jay-Z was gonna throw a free concert that day, but he decided out the blue, I'm doing a free concert right across. Right, and you might get some people that's gonna still come to the games, but they related to the people that's playing, but they ain't gonna ignore that free concert with Jay-Z. They on their way over there, and you're gonna have empty seats, and now you're losing money. You get what I'm saying? So you got to have a plan that covers stuff like that. That if Jay-Z show up to a free concert, it's not gonna hurt me. That's the key.
Yeah, this thing right here, huh?
That Seagull button. He a bad mama jammer. That's Jay-Z right there.
Great. Well, man, I appreciate it. Like I said, I got value. I believe everybody listening has gotten value. If you got any other small tips that you would just talk to traders who are, number one, beginners, and also number two, intermediates that may have been trading for a while, but just haven't been able to make the consistent gains that they've been looking for, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them, just like you're trying to build a business, you always got to have a team. You can't build a successful business without a team, and you're not going to be a top trader without a team. You got to have a team. So listen, if you're not around people talking about stocks like you talk about, then you need to go meet some people and start networking so you can have folks in your circle, like you in my circle, like me and you and I, we talk, right? You got to have people that love and have a passion for trading. Too many people are trading alone, and they're hanging around people that don't trade. How are you going to be good? How are you going to get better? How are you going to grow? Right? That's my tip to a beginner, anybody. You need a team. So first thing you need to do is go to some coffee shops, find some folks trading, and get some conversation started. See if people really love it. If they love it, get their numbers. Say, man, let's meet twice a month. Let's just go over the stocks this week we were dealing with and what we was thinking about. Because you're going iron sharpens iron, man. Right. You need people, because a lot of people in the world, they don't care nothing about stocks like that. They'll trade AMC because everybody's talking about it, but they don't care about they don't care about stocks for real. You know what I mean? It's just like, I remember when I was young, I went to church. I gave my life over to the Lord. Right?
Yeah.
I was young. And when I did it, I wanted to go back with my friends, and I wanted to tell my friends, man, you need to go to church with me, man. So and they weren't doing it. How long did I have that enthusiasm for being in church? It didn't last. Right. Because I wasn't hanging around people who were also in church.
Right.
I was still hanging out with people that didn't, and so they end up taking my enthusiasm away and caused me to stop watering that plant. Right. And so if you stop watering that plant gonna die. Period.
Right.
Now what I mean when I even say that, when you start trading, that's just buying the plant and sitting it in the sun. That's all that is. But you still got to water that bad boy every day to make it outgrow that pot. Hey. And what helps you water it is the people you hang with.
That's great. That's a great point. Great note to end on. You have to water every day. Your habits, your work ethic, your consistency, all of that. So, hey, brother, I appreciate you coming in and adding value to the trading community. It was a pleasure. We will definitely be doing it again. We're on Clubhouse. I'll add the links to our Clubhouse. And then also we'll be, you can go follow Antonio Johnson at Antonio Johnson Show on Twitter. He's not posting a whole lot of trading ideas these days, but that's why we interview. And we have our groups that you can become a part of if you want to get information, if you want to get exclusive information, and of course, if you have any questions, feel free to email, feel free to DM me, and we hope you got some value from this. God bless. Anything else you want to add, Antonio?
Hey, man, thank you for your time. I'm always grateful for anybody that wants to listen to me, man. at the end of the day, like the title of my book, I'm just a dummy, man. I'm just a dummy.
Go get the book too. Go get his book too. So, all right. It's been a pleasure. We'll talk to y'all soon.
All right, man.